this idea of social media and this idea of traditional advertising is very tiring to me. It's tiring for me to really not to speak about because I feel like social media is over a decade old. Have we not got it yet? I can't believe it. But it's also because it's a conflicting conversation always. If we do advertising, how do we do social? If we do social, how do we do advertising with communications? And I want to elevate the conversation. I want to elevate the conversation where you're no longer looking at your media marketing as social media or traditional. That's bad language. In fact, I would argue that many of the brands who are in this room and who we respect and admire have fundamentally ghettoized social media. They've made it a channel within like marketing communications. It's like another thing we do with radio and newspaper and whatever else. It just sits there in the silo. The young people with the tattoos and the earrings, they must be the Facebook team, right? That type of thinking. And that's not where I want to go. Where I would like you to start thinking about is your media in terms of active and passive. We have to understand that at a core level, people are passive with their media. For a great dissertation on this, I really encourage you to read the book Cognitive Surplus by Clay Shirley. It's excellent. It talks this point very, very eloquently. Listen, raise your hands if you like your job. I love my job. I mean, most of us probably do. I think if you're in this room, you're probably like, yeah, I know. I pretty much hit like a genetic lottery, and I'm lucky to be here. Life is pretty good, right? Let me give you a bit of a newsflash. Most people hate their jobs. Most people are miserable. And they come home from work, and all they want to do is lie on the couch, drink a beer, smoke some weed, and forget about the day that they had, and not even think about the day that's coming tomorrow. TV is the engine by which they do that through. TV is fundamentally a passive media channel. We get confused when people talk about things like Google TV and Apple TV and all this, and the interactivity, we're going to tweet, we're going to like, and we're going to check in and get blue and all this stuff. The reason why we're going to have a very slower adoption towards this is because people are very passive with TV. We're not, because we're more of the early adopters. And so we get it when it's on our iPad and we're throwing it to our MacBook Airs and we're traveling. We get it. But the majority of people use TV to numb the pain of life. They're not trying to be active with it, right? I mean, if you look at the man cave ideology, the man cave ideology is not about being active. It's about being excessively passive, actually. And I think that we're going to have a very massive crossroads in the next half decade as TV tries to be more relevant through interactivity and engagement. Other platforms too, you're going to see things like radio and even newspapers with their digital formats are definitely trying this. But it is going to come to a head. And yes, there will be variances. It's not a zero-sum game either where media is either passive or active. That's not true, right? If you look at the digital platforms, Twitter is an active media. Facebook is an active media, but there are tons of people who are very passive on Twitter. They just want to follow like Howard Stern and Perez Hilton, and they're fine just sort of, trolling through their feeds and seeing what people do. That's fine. But the win of it is in the activity of it. It's in the active side of it. So if you look at also just raw usage, and people sort of hate these slides, and I hate them too because you can never read them, but what you're seeing on the left is basically how much TV is being viewed a week, and on the right, in the top right, you're seeing internet usage. Guess what? People just watch a ton of TV still, and TV is fundamentally not an active media. And so as we struggle to build adoption here, and as great as adoption is in smartphones and things like that, it's going to trail behind the reality that people, the majority of people, don't want to do much when they're doing TV. That's called work. Right? If I've got a friend and liking, tweeting, engaging, this is on here, clicking, I think they're gonna lose their minds. Either we're gonna have to make them adapt, or we're gonna have to regress a little bit and realize that maybe certain media will be for the majority passive, and we can put active components in for those who really want it. And perhaps the same is true on the other side, that Facebook is just an active media. And if you're really passive, you don't want people to know about you, it's probably not the right media for you. I want to